Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We are now live in the studio in the Karlsruhe Jalsa Salana area, and we are happy to present you a few guests. On my left hand is Hibbatunoor Verhagen, the Amir of the Holland Jamaat. Assalamu alaikum, Hibbatunoor.
Wa alaikum salam.
And on his further side is Feroz from Bangladesh, whom we know all through his beautiful voice in the Friday prayer, where we are always moving with his azan towards the actual khutbah of the Khalifa of the time. It is just after the Friday sermon. Most of us have taken some food and we are now relaxed, and we can now give the first impressions from Jalsa Salana here, but I would like to know a bit about your Jalsa Salana. Hibbatunoor, your Jalsa Salana took place just not
in May.
In May, a month back. It was the 33rd.
Yes, right.
Jalsa Salana.
Yes.
And then later on we will move to you, to let us know a bit about the Bangladesh Jalsa Salana, right, and your impression about this, which is almost, the biggest in Europe at least. Hibbatunoor.
Yes.
How was your Jalsa Salana?
Well, it was, I think, very representing the Jamaats, like all Jamaats all over the world experience. That's not only the Jamaat is there established, but also flourishing. And one of the events is always annual gatherings, where we see how, for example, it started in 1981. I remember the first one was in a tent behind the mosque, and there was the atmosphere is, I would say, everywhere the same. Like here,
I've attended one or the other.
You were also one of the guests, yeah. Mr. Hoops also was one speaker. So that reminds me anyhow of the Quran verse. There's a sign of Allah in creating the man of different colors and different languages, and the sign is that they are united and becomes visible in Ahmadiyyat. That's what I feel. The essence of Islam is being, given so much attention, like now in the Khutbah Fazur, for example. So the speeches are there, we are reminded, and especially now, this Jalsa, I must say, just we hear the Khutbah Fazur, and reminding us of a simple fact, but so important. So I think I'm very pleased I've heard it, and I think it's very easy to convey also to those who haven't heard it. The simple way is to create a brotherhood and a good, progress in Jamaat. If something does something good to you, do something better back. Be useful for other people. Right. This principle is as simple as what, and it makes yourself loose, I would say. You will feel that this is what God also likes. It's also mentioned in the Quran. Somebody greets you, whoever it is, greet him back with a better greeting.
One has to be thankful, for all what we are blessed with. I've listened that, your Jalsa had a special scheme. You had a very prominent guest, what I've heard over there.
Yes. Well, all our guests, we feel prominent, and we give them optimal attention. There was also priests, there were new Muslims, of course, non-Ahmadis and new converts. But one thing is that I met Hazur just before our Jalsa, maybe 2 months or so. And then he advised me, or not instructed me, his advice is for me an instruction, that the book, World Crisis and the Pathway to Peace.
With these 4 important speeches of Hazurectors in the Parliament of Europe and...
yes. 4 or 5.
In Capitol Hill,
and letters to all the world leaders with the same message to how to create peace. He said, well, your politicians, they know English, so send this to them. So we took the chance, we sent it to all the politicians and the local councils all over the country. And my feeling is that the Minister of Interior Affairs and also of Suriname, the connections of the kingdom with Suriname and so on, he is also covering that. He came to our surprise, he invited our invitation. He's a great scholar on chemistry and so on. And so he came and also spoke, in very personal and say, a personal story about his grandparents, how they left Germany as Jewish refugees. They were, his father and his brother were sent by train to be safe. And not, and then they grow up here, and now he was remembering that story and telling it. And he also gave that message to the people who were present. Look, if you are, spending your time well, and what you can achieve in life. And also he spoke very good about what the Jamaat, what we are doing, and he was appreciating it very much. Because, of course, he got the book, he read the book and the message.
It's a good sign when the Inner Minister, the Interior Minister of Holland, comes for a personal talk, even in the Jalsa Salana, to exchange views. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. It looks that we are marching all over the world, we are marching forward. And of course, we have some countries where life seems to be still a bit more difficult. But even this is a blessing in disguise, because we know wherever we have difficulties, it gives us chances in other countries to, progress. Feroz, you are from Bangladesh, a very beautiful country. I can assure you now, because I visited it recently too, with very lovely people. You had a Jalsa Salana which was disturbed, but anyhow, nobody could disturb you. The Jalsa Salana moved on very nicely.
Yeah, that's right. This year, Bangladesh Jamaat had their centenary Jalsa. That is, Ahmadiyyat officially as an institution began its journey in Bangladesh in 1913.
So you are 100 years old now, like UK Jamaat.
Like UK Jamaat. So this is a landmark year, as you yourself have first-hand experience of that Jalsa.
Right.
We are used to hold our Jalsa normally in our premises in Bangladesh, but Khalifatul Masih has been pressing on the Jamaat that you go to open air, go to any stadium or any big ground. This space is not enough. So as this is the global experience of Ahmadiyya Muslim community that we are expanding and spreading everywhere, at Amiso discussed, and you supported his points. So there also, in our centenary Jalsa, we made a plan to hold a Jalsa in one of the stadium. Government gave permission, but unfortunately what came later is, everybody knows. But by the grace of Allah, Jamaat did organize their Jalsa within the premises, and very successfully.
Within hours, you had to change your plans, but nobody could stop you.
Yeah? Within few hours, everything we had to first of all install outside, then dismantle. Everything was dismantled anyway, broken or burnt by the enemies. Then Jamaat started from scratch inside the premises, and within 2-3 hours, everything was ready for a Jalsa of 6,000 to 8,000 people. So this is again divine hand working behind, and by the grace of Allah, as Promised Messiah said, that the purpose of Jalsa is to create a spirit of brotherhood and a strong religious base among people. And another aspect he mentioned is to bring nearness to Almighty Allah. And another aspect of Jalsa Huzur mentioned is those who accepted before, they will meet the new faces, and as a result, their spiritual bond will be strong with Allah. At the same time, fellow feeling for one another also will be strengthened. And this you experienced firsthand in Bangladesh. As you mentioned, when I met you after you returned, I saw you were so overwhelmed and emotional as you were expressing to me that...
I was missing you in the Jalsa Salana.
Yes. You apparently Bangladesh is an impoverished country. Apparently, backward in education also to some degree. But what Hazrat Masih Maud predicted, that this Jalsa creates and brings such a spiritual environment in the whole pandal or anywhere you hold it. It is overwhelming. And you said, had you not seen them, your idea what you had before it would have been the same.
Yeah, I felt really that there is some international flair, I mean, within the Bangladesh Jamaat, which is really, I mean, amazing. Yeah? And I found, I mean, the Jamaat members very well educated and
their love for Khalifa,
well shaped, yes.
It's so deep. I mean,
and without having a Khalifa in the country, you know, I mean, they're still, I mean, sticking to Khilafat so strongly.
That's right.
I mean, it was amazing to see. And as you said, I mean, it was on my journey when I came to know that something like this has happened.
Right.
And when I reached there, I mean, already the arrangement was there so perfect done.
Right.
I mean, I like especially this premises. It is like a stadium, like a typical stadium, like a Colosseum. Yeah, I mean, very close and very high. I mean, building and everywhere balconies from where people can see. I mean, I found it very, very enjoyable. And especially you received 2 over there guests from the government. I mean, they excused for this incident very openly.
They excused, I mean, excused to some degree, but not officially.
No, but it was an official, at least in his speech, I mean, he did it over there, and he knows that MTA was watching.
That's right.
So in a way, I mean, you can say that it is an official excuse.
But political leaders who are part of the coalition, they came in our Jalsa and expressed their, as a part of coalition, they expressed their sorrow and they said, we are really sorry what happened in this country in the name of religion, but this is not Bangladesh, this is not what Bangladeshi majority speak.
Yes.
Yeah, they expressed that.
I mean, this is what I expressed in the beginning, that, I mean, we are now in a situation where we have Western countries, modern states where democracy is well established and where Islam is flourishing, especially Ahmadiyya Islam. I mean, all over the world, I mean, we can say nowadays in Europe we have 60 million Muslims and they live in a democratic environment. And we see, I mean, especially in Germany now, things developing in a very interesting way. Today, for example, the chief mayor of this city, Karlsruhe, he came to greet us officially because he was happy that the Ahmadi Muslim Jamaat has chosen his city for this great event, because this is now really something which is spoken out, that, I mean, the Ahmadiyya convention is the biggest convention, some say, in Europe. If you say classical Europe, I mean, not including Turkey, not including Bosnia, where you might have bigger Islamic events.
Western European.
Yeah, but in those European countries where the euro is being used as a currency, there you can say that it's the biggest Islamic I mean, function which takes place every year.
Yes.
And in this way, I mean, we have now announced it as well, and the press was present. And interestingly was, I mean, the Bild Zeitung, I mean, this is the Daily Mirror in Germany, the biggest coverage has Bild Zeitung. They asked Hazur a question, what you expect, what your community should be within 10 years. Then Hazur Rektas, may Allah strengthen his hand, said only, I mean, I only want them to spread peace, to live, I mean, peace, and I mean, to spread a way of living, I mean, where nobody is afraid of. And we can really see that people have realized now that Ahmadiyya is standing for peace.
Yes, that's true.
I don't know.
Everywhere, even this is a feature, a trait of Ahmadiyya Muslim community, which is recognized globally. Though, I mean, and we have opposition.
Even our enemies know it. Yeah?
Enemies know it. In Bangladesh, we face serious, I mean, ferocity from the enemies. But they accept that this is the community which stands for morality. They speak truth. They serve humanity. Yes, that's fact.
The bigger problem here in Europe is that, I mean, people are still suspicious about Islam. Right. But I don't know how is the situation in Holland. We have seen here from 70%, now it has been reduced to 50%. Yeah, so I mean, there is a trend that people are getting more information about it, and Jalsa Salana can play a very vital role in this, process.
Yeah, I have even a nice example. That last Jalsa, there was very much crowd and neighbors complained, car parking and so on. So the council took it serious also. So we had some talks, and we invited them also with us. And Azur wrote us a letter that there's a chance, an opportunity to cement your relations with your neighbors and with the council, and that actually happened. There were talks in the council. There was 5 people sitting there. They report to the mayor. They take measures also according to the laws, parking rules and so on.
Course.
So there was a talk after the Jalsa, and they were all so happy and so very. They said, if this is your Jalsa, we would sign for it if it always would be like that.
It has become a part and parcel of the city's functions. Yes.
Well, they regard it as a big event now,
Yeah, it might
and
be
also
the biggest event.
so they also look at how we react on the complaints, and they search what is our cooperation with them, what we do with our neighbors. So our missionary took the charming offense he did. He brought some. On a few days before, just some cakes to the neighbors. He's a new missionary from the Jamia,
Yeah.
and he introduced himself to the neighbors by himself on his own initiative, and also he invited journalists. So they saw that this special community. The neighbors like us now.
This is a special feature of the Jamaat, especially in the Western countries, that they are demanding always. Muslims should be more open-minded, more transparent. We are. And we are since the beginning. We have always opened our mosque. To the public, and I think this is our feature. We cannot hide it. It's part and parcel of our life philosophy.
Yeah. For example, we say love for your country is a part of the faith. So relation with the council, love your neighbors.
Right.
And be good for them is very much a lot of intention with us. So we have to practice that.
Coming back to the Jalsa Salana and to the blessings of Jalsa Salana.
Yes.
In the moment we are sitting here in the middle of a green area, in the middle of Jalsa Salana. We are not having so much noise, but keep in mind just entering into this door, and you will be amongst thousands of people moving around. There is now a break till 5 o'clock. How you feel, Feroz? How many times you have been, and how you feel in these days here in the Jalsa?
I should thank you and German Jamaat for this also. Mainly, of course, Khalifatul Masih. He very graciously brings this opportunity for us that we come here to carry out our responsibilities. That is to translate Huzur's addresses and other programs, of course, into Bengali.
By the way, the facilities are better this year?
It looks better. It is better. And I must say it is better. And blessing aspect is almost for the last 30 years I'm attending Jamaat's conferences in many countries of the world. And indiscriminately, this is my experience. Every time, whenever I attended Jalsa, I found myself better off than I started with. With the passage of time, as Huzur mentioned today, sometimes this spiritual impact lasts for 3 days, sometimes 7 days, sometimes 1 month, sometimes maybe 1 year. He said it should last long.
But you move from one to the next Jalsa Salana, so you have better facilities.
Yes. So every time I attended Jalsa, by the grace of Allah, this is experience, this is not only words. I found myself better by the grace of Allah. And not only me, I think this is the experience of every individual who attends Jalsa. He finds himself full with the spiritual feeling and emotion and devotion, and his prostration are full of tears, supplicating himself to Almighty Allah in such manner that words are not enough to express this. I saw many people sobbing, crying. Only today, the person who was standing beside me, he is a gentleman, did not complete his missionary training course in Jamia, but he was crying to Almighty Allah in such a manner. Wonderful environment Jalsa presents to us. So from small boy to the oldest person in Jalsa, this is the experience.
Jazakumullah for your views and impressions. Verhagen, you have been here. I think you have attended every Jalsa Salana in Germany. It looks, yeah, because you are a part and parcel of our setup in a way. You have made many times. You have chaired. Sessions. What is your expression? I think to judge this Jalsa, it is too early, because we have just entered into the feelings. But how you see the arrangements? You see any improvements?
Oh yes, great improvement. This is a great progress. This location already, but and also the atmosphere. Last year, I also remember just by hearing the sounds inside. It's really emotional. Sometimes it made me also once cry, and just for I don't know why, but we're looking forward for these jalsas, and also we prepare for it, and we hope to get something which makes our life change. Which we keep. It is also a message of Hazur many times said, well, you should take it with you what you got here. So it's the grace of God, let's say that, and especially mentioned not as a routine, but really realize how great and much and repeatedly Allah's blessings are with us if we also want to see it.
Yeah. For me, it's a slowly process of moving into. We had, yesterday the Maulana with Hazur directors. I enjoyed it very much because it was very calm and quiet. Hazur directors was the Maulana, the inspection. Hazur was in very, very comfortable mood. He was joking, and we had, for example, when we came here and watched the MTA area, then somebody introduced a special toy. It is a camera which flies on a type of drone. Drone. Yeah.
Oh,
so Hazur director said, you should mention this tomorrow in the press conference. That our drone, is a different drone than those. Of the armies, which destroy and kill people with it. Yeah. It is a small, like a helicopter. Yeah. A camera is there. And with a remote control, it moves up and makes photos.
Oh.
And I've seen the photos already. They will show it later on. Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, you could see Hazur directors looking up, and then you could see a camera from up looking Hazur down. Yeah, very, very much nice and enjoyable. And the whole atmosphere was much more organized and calm. After Jalsa Salana, who is now running the affairs, Hafiz Muzaffar Sahab, he is now in his second year, and you can really see, now he knows the location, he has control over his people. We see a lot of development. We have started now, maybe you have seen the MTA van has been moved out, the cabins have been moved out just to make more space. Yeah?
Yeah.
So
every day the number is increased.
Was wondering whether it will be filled or not. Our number has increased now tremendously because in the last year we received 2,000 new Ahmadis from Pakistan. Of course, there's a sad story behind. Our Ahmadis in Pakistan are severely persecuted, and situation for them is very difficult, very hard. And during the last year, about 3,000 people came here. So, the number has increased tremendously here now, and they are young, enthusiastic, full of spirit. Yeah. They give a new flair to the Jalsa Salana.
That's right.
Everywhere you find these workers, the problem is they are not yet speaking proper German, but they all promise they learn it very, very fast. Yeah. And I see that the old Ahmadis, they tell them, learn soon, learn immediately German. Yeah? Don't make the mistake we did, to suffer so many years. Yeah? Yeah. So I think this is a very new spirit that, Rabba spirit is, and Pakistan spirit is moved into the German Jamaat atmosphere, and this is very good and very blessingful. We will pray for Pakistan that, their sacrifices, will move us to do more, in Tabligh and in our general development. Yeah.
What Professor Messiah said, the environment here, which is prevailing, it proves that every word what he wrote about the Jalsa Salana was divinely inspired. As he said, it's a Lillahi Jalsa. That is, it has commenced through the inspiration of Almighty Allah. Every person, everyone you see here, the way they pray, the way they talk, the way they express their salam to one another, expression of love, For me, I find it very difficult to even walk from one end to another. Every second person comes and wishes us, like, how are you? So deep love and emotion they express on the beach.
In Bangladesh, the same like over here, or when you go to UK or when you go to America. This is something, I mean, which is difficult for others to find. Yeah. There was yesterday, day before yesterday, a journalist here from the biggest Turkish newspaper, Zaman. She asked, what is your secret? Why you are so successful? And these big associations, they are not gaining what you gain. Then I had to say, our success is Khilafat. Yeah?
Yes.
I mean, it's the unity which we get through Khilafat. That, I mean, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then, I mean, the promised Messiah, and then the present Khalifa keeps us alive. Yeah?
That's right.
Keeps us alive and keeps us to the point. Yeah. I think, thank you very much, I mean, for giving us, I mean, some more views into the enjoyable scene of Jalsa Salana. I hope the viewers will stay with us for the whole time. I think you are getting a lot of information. Even you see, I mean, they have made me a moderator. I was never a moderator in MTA. But you see, there are always new issues. I request all the viewers to pray for the success of the Jalsa Salana. We will move now in the second session. At 5 o'clock the second session will start. And I request you to stay with us and pray for us and keep praying so that the Jamaat may spread. And we will see in the time of the present Khilafat, we will see things which we might be not expecting before. But we have a strong feeling that in this Khilafat, things will change in many countries towards the betterment.
Inshallah.
नाम उसका है